Hi, my name is Jocelyn Alvarado. My coach for my Silver Challenge was Autumn Cox, and the title of my presentation is Learning and Growth into My Future. The goals that I wanted to achieve in the Silver Challenge was learning how I can improve my leadership goals, um, seeing on what skills I need to improve, looking at my future goals, and discussing about my future job. So these goals were very important to kind of like discuss about because first I want to improve in my leadership skills. Like I want to know what I can do in my community, and also like work on my leadership skills that I need to improve on. But also I was also like kind of lost in what I wanted to do in my future, basically like my future job, and I wanted to explore, to see what I could do in my future. And so that really helped. So for my growth, I want to say that I did grow during the Silver Challenge, especially express my practice in the club that I am currently in. So I am currently in the Spanish club, and I sit as the secretary in the club. So before doing the Silver Challenge, I felt like I was a little lost, like not being heard in the first semester. But this semester, when I started doing my Silver Challenge, I when I completed the 360 assessment, I kind of just looked at what my evaluators kind of like saw for me, like what was my strongest and my weakness areas. And so the strongest areas would definitely be self-awareness, community engagement, and tax management. So with these strongest areas, I definitely tried to put in these like these strengths that I've had into the club. So I tried to, do more community engagement. So doing like a collaboration with other clubs, and like seeing like I guess like doing a lot of getting to know like different areas in the Latin community, and mostly like volunteering and stuff like that. And tax management, always, um, always having everything done by the date, by the due date, before the general body meetings and stuff like that. But my weakest areas, I would like to say that it's effective communications and creative visioning. For me, it is kind of hard to communicate. I'm a very introverted person, so like it kind of got, so I was very, like it takes me a while to get used to a place or a group of people. And this semester, I think trying to overcome that, trying to speak up more in the club, um, kind of like I tried to work on that. And creative visioning, um, I would like to say, yeah, I kind of do sometimes have like the weaknesses in the creativity part. Sometimes I think my ideas are somewhat okay, but I sometimes um, don't like to express my creativities. I like to just keep it by myself. But this semester, like I said, I tried to put out like creativity, like put out ideas into the club and see what we can do with our like members in the club. Community engagement. So one of the organizations that I did the SWOT analysis was the American Red Cross. So this organization has a lot to offer besides donating blood. So this organization was something that I actually was looking into to volunteering in the past before COVID hit, and I went in for a couple of trainings, and when I realized what American Red Cross does besides just donating blood, kind of made me realize like not a lot of people know about that, and not a lot of people know like American Red Cross does serve other services. So how this organization can grow in the future, but also getting the recognition they deserve when it comes to emergencies. The only reason why I put that is because, like I said, American Red Cross does have what's called a disaster team. And so, what a disaster team is that they go out into the community when there is a fire and they help out families with the needs and supplies, like, after a fire, like they have nothing. So what American Red Cross is that they provide those stuff, like, hair products and like anything, like toothpaste, toothbrush, anything, even like a little bit of cash so that they can go sleep somewhere. um and I feel like American Red Cross doesn't get a lot of that recognition, like a lot of that publicity. Now, this can help me as a community leader to volunteer and to get experience on what the disaster team does in a fire disaster. Like I mentioned before, I was going to volunteer as the disaster team, but before I even got the chance to do it, COVID hit, and so everything was on pause. And now as a leader, um I feel like it could help me improve and run a disaster team in the future. So one of my ideas is, like, I would like to actually volunteer again, um, for the American Red Cross. So for my personal motivation slide, so this kind of goes in with one of my goals, which was like looking at my future and then like discussing about my future job. So during the Silver Challenge, one of my personal motivations was the figuring out why worksheet. So basically, this exercise helped me realize what my main three goals were. The exercise was based on my personal, professional, and academic goal. So for my personal, um, I put building my own home, but like building my own house. So this kind of made me realize, like, this is like a personal goal that I want, and I want to achieve it because the why part behind it is like kind of showing that, everything is possible, even though like sometimes we do have bumps, like, and like we do fall in a hole or something. And it can also be an example of, like, you know seeking higher education and like choosing and following your dreams. It's actually possible. And so then my professional goal was my laboratory. So seeing what laboratory jobs I want to pursue. So like, having to do online research on different companies that do research lab or like deals with like laboratory work, and having to decide, like, which kind of like comes into my interest, and having to discuss about like the pros and cons and stuff like that. So that was very nice. And then my last is my academic goal. So what the academic goal I have is postbac or medical school. So I put seeing my dreams come true, but I wanna I wanna say that this is one of it's like an academic goal, and yes, I would say it is my dream to be a doctor, or be like something, like a pharmacist or something. So definitely going to post that will get me ready for the exam that I need for either career, but also going to medical school is like a dream come true for me, having to, like, show in my family that everything is possible. And so the goal is to see, and like I and if I and like I have and like I have expressed in my sessions, like, you know um try try to go to medical school. If I get in, I do get in. If I don't, it's at least I tried, and at least that, I done it, I did it, and not having the doubt of, like, when I do get older, like, why didn't I not take it? So that was like another, like, academic goal that really got me thinking of the big why. So for the future, so for the future, I would definitely like to start the goal challenge and hopefully finished in a semester. Because I do graduate in December, so I would like to do the goal challenge just because I want to improve more on my leadership skill, and hopefully like go out in the community and volunteer, now that COVID is kind of like coming into an end, and having the opportunity to put my leadership skills into works for the Go Challenge. And for the second one is community service. I guess like after I graduate, one of the things that I would like to do is community service, continue my community service. So at a nursing home, well, nursing homes, I used to volunteer at a nursing home before COVID, so I would like to do that again and get more experienced. And then, like I mentioned before, American Red Cross. So, like I said before, I was gonna volunteer with them before COVID hit and everything had to be paused. And honestly, I would like to see what the American Red Cross can offer me, especially like learning to use my leadership skills, especially like if I do go back into the disaster team, using my skills and helping others in the community itself. So that is my future goals for the future, even if it's like in a couple of months, but also like after I graduate.